How is Jason Kelce and Caitlin Clark the same? It's simple. I'm not going to draw it out for no reason. In life, there are times when you have opportunity. The old phrase, strike while the iron is hot.
Opportunity like when your workplace offers a scholarship and pays for your degree online?
Yeah, great guy.
Sounds like you're seizing the opportunity there.
There are times where you're given an opportunity. And, I'm sure, Danny, you can back me up as well. There are times where you see someone get an opportunity and they say things like, let me sit on that and wait on it. And you're like, I wouldn't wait too long. You're hot right now. Jason Kelce and Caitlin Clark are two of the biggest names in sports in the last 12 months. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're actually right for once.
Thank you, Danny.
That I'll agree on.
Jason Kelce, the New Heights podcast. His brother is, dating Taylor Swift. He is at his
I would say the only one
peak.
Maybe more popular is his brother.
Jason Kelce. Everyone's like, oh, he's like the humble, nice Kelce. His wife is beautiful and sweet, like super mom. Everyone loves the Kelce. So no one's hotter than the Kelces right now and Caitlin Clark, fresh off of taking women's hoops to a level they've never seen before. If Jason Kelce and Caitlin Clark don't seize every opportunity thrown at them in this moment, you know what it's like? I'll give you an example. It's like the cast of the Jersey Shore or any reality show that had its run, where in its prime, they were a hot commodity. And then what happens slowly, Covino, is that they become more accessible because
no one cares as much.
No one cares as much. Danny G, there was a time where getting Snooki or like Paulie D on a radio show was like a get. Like we're talking like 09,
Hey, what's up,
2010.
Fox Sports Radio Nation? It's DJ Paulie D, and you're hanging out with Covino and Rich.
When we had them on our show, I remember
GTL, baby.
I remember it being like a big deal, Danny G. It was having, it was like having A-list celebrities back
you
in
had
the day.
the biggest stars of MTV on your show.
Dude, when that meant something, I remember we were at Sirius XM at the time. And when they were like, yo, Covino and Rich, we booked you The Situation in Snooki. It really, at that moment, it was like booking Taylor Swift in that moment. Then like 5 years later, they still had a show, but it's like, hey, do you guys want like Sammy Sweetheart or someone else? It's like, maybe.
Yeah,
Is it a slow day?
I'll take Sammy
Is it
Sweetheart.
a slow day?
She looks good.
You want J-Well? Point is, you're only hot for the time being. There was a time where you would have done everything to have Jeremy Lin on your show.
I still would,
Now-
but I know what you mean.
now
During
you-
the hot spot would be that 2 weeks of Linsanity. That would have been cool.
Was Kelce ever hotter?
Never been this hot.
No.
You know what it would be like, Joel? I'll give you one. Right around the time of the slam dunk contest, if Danny G's like, guys, I booked you Mac McClung, I'll be like, sweet. If Danny G said, hey, guys, tomorrow morning, Mac McClung, I'd be like, what? Why?
G League?
So it's really about the relevance in the moment and capitalizing and taking advantage in a good way. And I think right now I saw a story that said the WWE, fresh off of pretty awesome WrestleMania 40, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to acknowledge the fact that there was a lot of hype. The Rock, Roman Reigns, The Undertaker made a cameo. WrestleMania 40, a success. Wrestling as big as it's ever been. If they want Jason Kelce, even if it's a few event contract where it's like, yo, he's going to wrestle in, I don't know, SummerSlam or something, whatever the next big one is. Now's the time. Because guess what? In a year from now, I don't think they'll be calling.
That's funny.
Caitlin Clark, in a year or so from now, when she's on the Indiana
Fever.
I thought it was the Muskrats, no? Indiana.
Yeah, yesterday you called him the Indiana Sparks.
The Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, all these amazing women got our interest level. It was lightning in a bottle. 18 million people watched the Women's Championship. The most anyone's ever watched a WNBA game, like 800,000. Caitlin Clark should take every opportunity put in front of her over the next couple months.
She should be in the Big Three, Portnoy's Intramural League, and the WNBA.
Whoever is throwing millions at her, take it. Do a podcast with Barstool or whatever they want. Do anything that's going to give you money, Caitlin Clark, Because while you have talent, and you will make millions on endorsements because she still will have the buzz, but if you think Indiana Fever Caitlin Clark is going to have the same buzz as Iowa Caitlin Clark, you're mistaken. If you think Jason Kelce, a year or so removed from the NFL and a year or so removed from the buzz of his brother dating Taylor Swift, that's not going to last forever.
Maybe that overexposure is what cancels people out faster. Think of how long you and I are like cockroaches. We've been lasting for a long time in this industry. You know why? Because we never really hit that sweet spot. We never got that overexposure, so no one's really that sick of us yet. I mean, some of you might be. But my point is there's a slow burn sort of angle that keeps you around longer. Maybe if they went out there, it's overexposure and you're sick of Kelce and you're sick of Caitlin Clark. Maybe that's the flip side of this.
So if there's a Swiftie breakup, are we done with Jason?
Listen, I'm not that we're done, but sort of, right? I mean, like, listen, the New Heights podcast people like because, hey, it's two NFL brothers that have good personalities. But you know what took that from a good podcast to the number one podcast more than Cowherd and more than McAfee, more than us, more than Dan Patrick, more than anyone.
Shay?
More than Shay Shay. You know what it was?
The Taylor Swift
It's the fact
effect.
that he's dating Taylor Swift, and every week not only did sports fans tune in, know who tuned in, Swifties to be like, is Travis going to talk about Taylor?
They still had to be good for anyone to care,
Of
so
course.
let's not take away from their success. But Rich is right. So Rich is saying strike now. Strike first, strike hard. No mercy, sir.
What did Cobra Kai teach you?
Yeah, got to strike first, strike hard, strike now.
So
after crushing it at WrestleMania 40, what's next for Kelce? Is that beneath him, or I did like what you said, Rich, like some sort of partial contract where he's not like the next WWE superstar.
I don't think.
But maybe he has some sort of broadcasting contract
No,
and he makes a few
bro.
cameos. I just think there's so much
He's got to
upside
get
for
thrown
this
out the
guy.
ring. Come on now. He's got to get thrown out.
Yeah, but I think he has such an upside as a broadcaster. He's so personable and likable.
I mean,
that's where he needs to strike first.
They got some good broadcasters in the WWE now, but what he did at WrestleMania, I don't expect to be a wrestling fan, but a lot of people watched. He came in the ring, I think like saved Rey Mysterio, flexed a little bit, took off a mask. He had like a luchador Eagles mask on, pulled it off, and everyone's like, it's Jason Kelce. He flexed, had his dad bod rocking. Everyone cheered. The event was in Philadelphia, and everyone's like, yeah! And it was
He's a big
great.
boy. I mean, did you see him in perspective with The Rock in pictures? Like, just seeing that perspective, obviously he's in the NFL. He's a big dude, right? He's a center. He's a big lineman. But when you see him, like, next to other guys that you, in your mind, think are giant like The Rock, he's a big... He could have a career in wrestling if he wanted to, but again, beneath him.
Hold
I
on, let
think
me-
it is.
let
I
me ask
really
you-
do. I think he could really make a name for himself
you
as
think-
a legitimate broadcaster and get paid. Like,
You think it's
a
below-
former NFL player can get some significant money
You think
as a
it's-
broadcaster, as you know nowadays.
You think it's below someone to have a little stint in
it's-
wrestling?
It's
Well, Shaq
novelty.
did it.
It's
Shaq
goofy.
did it. Michael.
Yeah, but they didn't have careers in wrestling. They just appeared every
Dennis
once in a while.
Rodman.
That's the point.
I'm not saying he's
Karl
beneath the-
Malone.
I'm not saying he's above a cameo. I'm saying next career move.
Dude, when they have these former athletes, Donald Trump fought Vince McMahon.
You're missing the point. I'm not saying he's too good for a cameo. I'm saying as far as career decision, I
get
think
you.
he can make some real coin, as they say.